Hello Year 5 students. Today I'm going to share with you the summary of our lessons in week 9. So in week 9, we learned about changing the volume of sound. In this particular lesson, we practiced your research skills and collecting information. So in this page, we identified or discussed about some keywords like microphone, loudspeaker, ear defenders, amplifier, muffle, and silencer. So if you notice, I asked you to read this book or these pages in the learner's book. Remember, when we read books, we are doing research and we are practicing our research skills when we collect information. So what we've done is we outline the information into a chart uh, by listing down all the examples of objects that can make sound louder and also objects that can make sounds quieter. So in this particular page, you identified some objects that make sound louder, such as the microphone, amplifier, and also loudspeaker. These are part of what we call the sound system. So, in this page, after reading it, you identified the different objects that can muffle the sound or can make the sounds quiet. And these are the ear defenders, carpets, curtains, and also silencers. All right. So I ask you to create a chart and outline the information, and they are all in your writing notebook. Okay. We also learned about changing the pitch of sound. So in this particular activity, you are introduced to the different keywords such as loosen, stringed instrument, tighten, tune, wind instrument. So for this particular activity, what we have done, if you remember, again, we practiced your research skills. But instead of reading the books, I provided you with a link in the internet that that directs you to the different types of orchestra instruments. So in that link, I ask you to identify the stringed instruments and wind instruments, and again collect information and outline them into a chart of stringed instruments and also uh, wind instrument. Okay, and then we also observe and watch videos to further practice research skills to find out how we can increase the volume of stringed instruments, or how stringed instruments produce sound, and at the same time how you can increase the pitch, and also how to play the wind instruments and how wind instruments can increase the pitch. Okay, so yes, again here, remember that in stringed instruments, you can increase the pitch by adjusting the pegs. The word that we use there is to tighten or to loosen the pegs. Okay? For the woodwind instruments, you observed how the pitch increased in a woodwind instrument by covering holes. Okay? By covering holes. The less fingers you cover the holes, the higher the pitch. Remember that. Okay, we also check your understanding about volume and pitch. Here, we answered book exercises pages 22 to 26. And to answer focus, focus question, I gave you a tip whereby next time if you encounter the same questions, you need to arrange the sound measurement first in order before you will be able to identify the loudest and the most quiet sounds. All right. So here in this particular page, we try to check which among the three samples are quieter, the same, or louder than Formula 1 racing car. So we made a comparison. Okay. In the practice part, we tried to understand the variables, okay, and the data presented in chart, and from that we also practice how to create a bar graph using the data on page 23. When I say data, I'm talking about the chart, the sound And then the loudness, for example, talking 2 ticks, laughing 3 ticks, and so on and so forth. Okay, so when you create a bar graph, remember that the the numbers that you will put on the you call it how can I y-axis. Okay, so the numbers that you put in the y-axis are the dependent variables, which means that the numbers that you the variable that you count or you measure. The one that you put in the x-axis are the independent variables or the variables that change. So for example here, the dependent variable is the loudness of sounds, while the independent variables are the talking or the source of sound, such as talking, laughing, shouting, music, and school. Okay, so that's it. So most of the activities here are practicing your fair testing skills and also identifying and classifying, pattern seeking, and observing over time. Okay, this particular page is testing your identifying skill. Okay, and in this page is just testing again your observation skills using the image on your workbook. All right, so that's it. We will continue our session next week for more revision so that you can be ready for your term 1 exam.